hoping that y'all can hear me. I don't know. Seems like I've been having some technical difficulties this morning. With my sound. Let me see if I can hear myself. Because if I can hear myself on my other phone, then we're good to go. Sound. Okay, I can hear myself on the other one. Okay, we're good. Wait, what is that sound? To go. Why is my sound like that? Wait, what is that sound? To go. Why is my sound like that? Is my sound weird to y'all? How about now? Is it still weird? Can y'all hear me? It's better now without the microphones? I can't keep up because y'all ain't saying nothing. Okay, maybe I can't keep. All right, maybe it's because I'm in the car. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me plugging in my stuff and playing it for y'all. But good morning, phenomenal fresh start to everybody. We are on our way heading into New York as we speak, and this morning is one of the most anticipated testimonies that we have had since Kid Cudi. Now, Diddy's former assistant, Capricorn Clark, is supposed to be taking the stand today, as well as a Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator, Lance Jimenez, is going to be taking the stand as well. So this is going to be a day. I'm trying to get there a little early today. Thanks to you guys. And the Cashaps that you guys have been sending, I am in an Uber on my way to Manhattan. Now, I'm not sure what we can expect outside of, as far as a definite, her testimony, but we know that she's going to testify to her being kidnapped and taken to Kid Cudi's home and being present during the break-in of his home. We don't know if she has any information as far as what happened with the Molotov cocktail, but being that she was his assistant for so long and worked at Combs Enterprises, I'm quite sure that there's a lot that she can testify to, a lot of things that she has witnessed, things that we don't even know about. So I guess it's not even more or less about what she's going to testify more so than it is what is she going to expose. Now, as far as it fired the LAFD arson investigator, there's been some paperwork and shuffling that has been going on behind the scenes, and it appears that the government is blocking the defense from being able to ask him about DNA. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that seems like it's pretty reasonable to me for them to say that that's something that, you know, the defense is not going to be asking him about or shouldn't be able to ask him about, because last time I checked, fire departments do not do fingerprinting, they don't run DNA tests, they don't do any of that stuff. That would be a part of the LAPD department, LAPD, my bad, that would have that information for them and not really the fire department. So I can understand their request to their request to do what they, their request to stop that line of questioning, because that could cause confusion to people to hear someone from the fire department talking about, arson. I mean, talking about DNA, not arson. He's supposed to be testifying to the arson, the Molotov cocktail. But the thing is, it was a bottle. It's a glass bottle. So there really is, even though we've been running polls and I've been like, oh, what if it's this person? What if it's that person? The truth of the matter is, it could be anybody. That could have possibly been some DNA that was left on the bottle when it was purchased. We don't know, so we have to wait to see what is going to come out, and if they're actually going to call, the defense that is going to call into play anyone from the LAPD that investigated the DNA from the Molotov cocktailing of Kid Cudi's car. Now, it was just a fire. It was not an explosion. I do want to stress that. I keep stressing that only because it did not explode the way that we thought, or else we wouldn't have had the photos that we had shown to us about what damage was done to his vehicle. Now, the defense has also been very busy behind the scenes because they're trying to get testimonies strucken out. Like, they want them taken out. They want the testimony of Dr. Dawn Hughes taken out. They want Kid Cudi's taken out. They want Kerry Morgan's and Dawn Richard. They want their testimonies taken out. And let me go ahead and let me pull this information up for y'all so that I can give y'all what I know. This is where I miss my computer and being able to just jump on and share the documents and show y'all what's going on. So the crazy thing is, all right, so this is dated for the 24th, and it is a letter that was put into by the defense, right? And what it is the defense was trying to limit what Dawn Hughes was able to say on the stand. They did not want her testifying to coercive control. They didn't want her testifying to coercive control. They were saying that, okay, within the scope of questioning, she would be able to talk about coping strategies, delayed disclosure, and memory, together with specific and limited testimony concerning the reasons why victims stay in relationships. But she was to exclude anything that even led into coercive control. They're saying that when she went into her testimony and she started talking about things like love bombing and things of that nature, that went into the coercive control that they did not want her to testify to. So they're trying to have her testimony removed from the record. They don't want it. They don't want it in. They want it out. I'll read a little bit of this to you guys. Well, I could read the whole thing to you guys because we're sitting in traffic right now. So it says, we write on behalf of Sean Combs in further support of and to renew the motion to strike made at sidebar following the direct testimony of government's blind expert psychologist Dr. Dawn Hughes. Hughes and the government continually violated the court's ruling limiting the scope of Hughes's testimony. While the court sustained numerous objections, the repeated and apparently deliberate defiance of the court's ruling made it impossible to keep Hughes within bounds. It was especially the case as Hughes continually expanded her answers beyond the four corners of the prosecutor's question. Moreover, portions of Hughes's testimony on coping strayed from the disclosure in other ways and reconfirmed, why the court had excluded this type of testimony in the first place. Now, what I will say to you guys is Dr. Dawn Hughes was very long-winded when she was giving her testimony, so it was kind of hard for them to keep her within bounds of things. I can say that was true, but let's continue. And Hughes's testimony on memory should independently be struck as junk science that will confuse rather than help the jury. The testimony amounted to an assertion that victims are all unique and no memory lapse can readily be attributed to credibility problems. This is not proper expert testimony that will help the jury discover the truth, but an ink blot calculated to support an argument the prosecution may need to make in summation, depending on how its factual witnesses testify. Hughes' testimony should be struck in its entirety. Now, here's the thing that I'm going to tell you, being that I was sitting in the courtroom listening to Dr. Dawn Hughes' testimony. Let me tell you what I believe the defense is nervous about and why they want it struck for real. Her testimony put a whole, like it really damaged that whole thing as far as why she went back, why did she stay, why did she this, why did she that? Because she explained the mental mindset of things when a person is in an abusive relationship with a power dynamic structure where one party has more power than the other, where one person displays dominance over the other, the mental, the emotional, the economical abuse that happened within the relationship without even going into detail in the relationship, just speaking in a generalized scope. She did give a great testimony that if people actually took the time to sit down and analyze, they would see that it did shatter that narrative that's being put out there about, oh, well, you know, she could have left, she could have stayed. People don't realize that when you're in those types of situations, oftentimes it's not that easy to just get up and leave. There are people that will say, well, I was in a relationship, I was in a situation, and the person hit me and I was out the door. That's great, but not everybody has that. Not everybody does that. Not everybody is able to do that. So, there's that. So they've been trying to get Dr. Dawn Hughes' testimony struck from the record. And then they also have been going after Kid Cudi. One second, I'm trying to get to it. Alright, so they want a portion of Kid Cudi's testimony struck as well. They want the portion where Kid Cudi was asked, Mr. Combs said, I don't know what you're talking about when you asked about the car. Is that correct? Kid Cudi said yes. Did you believe Mr. Combs when he said he didn't know what you were talking about? And Mr. Steele objected. The court said to Ms. Johnson to rephrase the question, so she did. And she said, what was your understanding when Mr. Combs said he didn't know what you were talking about at the end of the conversation? Mr. Steele again objected. The courts overruled it, and so they told him to answer, and he said that, and Kid Cudi said that Diddy was lying. So they want that struck from the record as well, of Kid Cudi saying that he thought he was lying. Now, the reason why they want this taken out is because they say that the testimony was highly improper and the objection should have been sustained. A witness generally can't testify that in his opinion, a declarant was lying when making a statement, when the issue is a party's knowledge or state of mind. So what they had did prior to Kid Cudi's testimony, they had their little sidebar, because what happens is the prosecution and the defense, which is the government and Diddy's team, they have conversations with the judge prior to the jury coming in. Oftentimes that is what's missing from the conversation when we start talking, which is what they're talking about prior to court going into session. Now, what they spoke about before Kid Cudi took the stand was that they wanted him to be able to speak to state of mind. They didn't want him making assumptions of anything, but the fact that he got up there and he said that he thought he was lying, honestly, if he's asked, what did you take that to mean, or what do you mean by that? What did they ask him? What was your understanding when Mr. Combs said he didn't know what you were talking about? They're asking, what did you comprehend that to mean? So he's able to speak with what he thought it could mean, but the judge is the one who ultimately overrules. And one thing that I'm noticing about the defense is they're continually telling the judge what he can and can't do. And honestly, I could tell you, it feels like this judge is he's going to be annoyed, if he's not already annoyed, with some of the antics that are being put on display by this defense team, just in my opinion. But again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an expert, I'm not any of that. But it seems like they are definitely, when we say picking, they're picking at everything. They also did not want, prior to them even testifying, let me try to get to this. Prior to them even testifying, the court had an objection for Cassie's mother as well, her testimony. They didn't want her testifying to being paid, having to pay out $20,000 to Diddy. They were trying to get that struck from the record. 1 second, I'm trying to pull it up for y'all now. And don't worry, we're going to do a full, here it is. After meeting and conferring with the government this afternoon, the defense now understands that the government will put in letter this evening addressing issues related to Miss Richard, Miss Morgan, and Mr. James. So let's get into that. All right, so with Dawn Richard, they're saying, we now understand the government is going to file a letter regarding the admissibility of Combs and former president of Bad Boy Harpier's allegations that they threatened Dawn. Carrie Morgan, they object to Carrie Morgan's testifying that the recording contract for Miss Ventura was a hostage contract and that Mr. Combs is notorious for driving unfair bargains with his artists, which is something that we've already seen, something that we've already heard. We object to Carrie Morgan testifying that Miss Ventura told her that Mr. Combs had her hold a firearm when they went to the club. They object to Carrie Morgan testifying that, in her opinion, Mr. Combs controlled Cassie's career. They object to Miss Morgan testifying that Miss Ventura told her that she believed Mr. Combs might have a tracker on her car. So those are all things in her testimony that the defense is trying to have struck and removed from her testimony. When it came to David James, they object to David James testifying that Miss Ventura told him that she does not leave Mr. Combs because he controls everything. So they want those statements removed from the record, which to me is kind of hard. I mean, they were trying to get this out prior to them testifying, but they've already testified. So now what do you do? Especially when it comes down to Dr. Dawn Hughes, her testimony is already out there. The jury has already heard it. Members of the press have already heard it. The news outlets, bloggers, all of that. Declaring a mistrial. Now, Brian Steele did try to get the judge to do a mistrial, and the judge was like, no. So they're already trying to push for a mistrial. Oh, and to that one little person that decided that they wanted to come on over here and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I know witness tampering when I hear it. And I know how witness tampering can go down. I watch a lot of stuff, and I take in a lot of information. So even if I'm wrong, it's a good assumption. Sheesh. You can smell it in the car. It's okay, but I'm like, wow. You're getting high. Day 26 is not getting any royalties or pay. A lot of static. There's static? Okay, y'all told me there wasn't any static. Because y'all ain't saying nothing. Okay, y'all told me there wasn't any static. I don't even understand where it's coming from. This is really ruining everything. I don't have any portable chargers for my other phone. Those are going to be delivered either today or tomorrow. So this is the only phone that I have the charger to right now. And I've noticed that this one is always... Let me see. Is it still staticky? Is it still staticky? Is it still staticky? No, I'm not covering. No, I'm not covering. Okay, well, this would explain why I'm getting low views, because it sounds horrible. The sound is horrible. And then you guys are saying that y'all can't hear when I put the microphones in, which is weird, but you guys are saying you can't hear. Can you hear me now? It's better now? Okay. So now, do y'all want me to go back over what I was saying? Because I was saying some things that that I think you guys needed to hear. Were you guys able to hear what I was saying before? About the defense trying to have portions of testimony struck from the record? Okay. Well, let's do it again. Let's do it again. All right. So, for those that are just coming in and those who could not hear me, let me just do a brief recap and run through of what it is that we discussed. So, Capricorn Clark, we know that she's coming in. We know that she's going to corroborate Kid Cudi's story, Cassie's story of, well, I don't want to say story. I'm going to say chain of events. That's better. So, Capricorn Clark is going to corroborate the chain of events when it comes down to Kid Cudi's home being broken into and possibly the Molotov cocktailing of his vehicle. We don't know what else she's going to testify to, but I can assume that she's going to testify to watching things, knowing of incidences that happened between Cassie and Diddy, where more violence happened, or where there may have been some coercion that took play on his behalf, maybe some bribery. He did kidnap her, so we know that she's going to testify to that as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what else she's going to testify to, or what else she's going to expose, because Capricorn was around for a while. Now, when it comes down to things that the defense and the government are doing behind the scene, the government is stopping the defense team from being able to question Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator Lance Jimenez, who is going to be testifying today in court. He takes the stand and he's going to testify to the investigation into the arson that took place with Kid Cudi's Porsche. Now, the defense is trying to get him to testify to DNA and fingerprints. And the government is saying no, like that's not his expertise. He's coming to testify as an expertise when it comes down to arson because that's his area. That's his scope right there. That's what he does. So I feel like I agree with that. That makes sense to me because at the end of the day, a fire department does not do DNA and fingerprinting. That's the part on the Los Angeles Police Department, as far as I know and to my knowledge. Now, that's what was submitted this morning by the government, or was it last night? Well, I got it this morning by the government. So this is more than likely going to be one of those conversations that the government and the defense and the judge have in the courtroom before the jury comes. Now, those are conversations that a lot of people are not speaking on that I'm going to be speaking on. Well, I should say I'm going to continue to speak on because I have told y'all about some of those conversations. And this is probably what they're going to discuss this morning. And the defense is going to argue their point as to why they should be able to question the arson investigator about the DNA and the fingerprints from off of the glass bottle. Now, the thing with the fingerprints on the glass bottle, I know that I've asked questions about that before, and I've said, well, whose fingerprints were on the bottle? Do you think it was Capricorn Clark's? Do you think it was KK's? Whose fingerprints do you think it is? And the truth of the matter is, if this was a bottle that was bought out of the gas station or out of a convenience store, it could be anybody's fingerprints on that glass bottle if we're going to keep it all the way 100. So we would need to hear that in its full scope as to what it is or where this DNA came from instead of where it is, excuse me. The defense has also been moving to strike testimony from the record. The biggest ones that they're trying to strike is Dr. Dawn Hughes, and was not supposed to be speaking to coercive control, that she was only supposed to be speaking about memory and why a person would stay. And they said that she went into portions of coercive control because she started speaking about things like love bombing. And so they're trying to get her whole testimony struck from the record. Now, I don't see that happening. And the reason why I feel like they're going so hard at Dr. Dawn Hughes is because when she gave her testimony, she actually answered a lot of the questions that people have been asking that don't understand what happens when a person is in an abusive relationship and the psychological damage that it does to a person, the psychological warfare that goes on. And Dr. Hughes did a great job at breaking that down and explaining it to people if they were able to keep up with what she was saying. The reason I say that is because she was very long-winded in answering a lot of the prosecution's questions. And this was a surprise to me because she had been someone who has testified in court before. And she's even did a seminar which came out in testimony before on how to testify in court. So she knew that, giving long-winded answers was not a good idea, but she still continued to give those long-winded answers. But she did answer those questions and spoke to how, economic abuse, financial, which is the financial abuse, mental and emotional and physical abuse, how all of those things run hand in hand. And she spoke to the mental state that it would put somebody in. You got to remember that Cassie, she was in a situation where she was basically in a situationship with her boss. And we've seen where Cassie was in the studio with Diddy. There's like little videos that are starting to pop up on my timeline that I'm starting to see. I see that there were videos that were done, but no albums that were released that line up with those songs. There was a behind the scenes of Diddy and Cassie in the studio. You might catch some little video clips of Cassie in the studio or talking about going to the studio, but no albums were ever released. And it just felt like, well, if we know that she was recording, if we know that there was things going on when it came down to her artistry, but we never saw it actually come to a complete product, then it would be safe to say that, dang, maybe she's telling the truth, that he was holding her career hostage. Everything is connected psychologically. It's ridiculous to limit. That's how I feel. Now, how is what trafficking, John? Women trafficking, how is that the charge? needs to be dropped because there's no evidence. There is absolutely evidence of that. Y'all have to stop with those narratives and look at the case. The trafficking exists because Diddy was hiring escorts to engage in freak offs with Cassie in New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Cairns. That's trafficking. That's the trafficking part. And that's also transportation to engage in prostitution. It does make him a sex trafficker. You just don't want to see it. But it's cool, John. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. You can stay and do what you do, but have a wonderful day. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So they are moving to try to have Dr. Dawn Hughes' information struck from the record, testimony. They also are moving to have Carrie Morgan's testimony struck from the record. Let me go back into the document so that I can read to you exactly what is being said. So I'm not assuming anything and I'm giving it to you how it TI is, straight with no chaser. Okay, so hold on, because there's a couple of emails in here that I have to kind of go through. So that was the Kid Cudi one. Okay, so let me tell y'all the Kid Cudi one. Let me go there. They're moving to strike Kid Cudi's testimony because Kid Cudi testified to him believing that Diddy was a liar. And so the defense, they're like, oh no, he can't testify to that. He can't say that he thinks he's a liar. But if he's being asked what he understood Diddy saying, he didn't know what Kid Cudi was talking about when he asked him about the car, that's him testifying to what he thought. That's not him saying that that's what he was. That's him saying that he thought that he was lying. Because it says, what was your understanding when Mr. Combs said he didn't know what you were talking about at the end of the conversation? And he said that he was lying. So if you ask me, what do you think such and such meant in the conversation? And I say that they were lying. That's my understanding. But the defense is trying to get that struck from the record of his testimony. When it comes down to Miss Ventura, Cassie's mother, they want the settlement. Well, I'm sorry, not the settlement. Payment of $20,000 that she made to Diddy to be struck from the record as well. I'm trying to find that part, but I know where I can find the other two parts where we talk about Carrie Morgan and hold on. I'm pulling that back up for you guys right now. And yes, we are on our way into court. For those of you who are just joining in, phenomenal fresh start. We are on our way already. All right, so all right, so when it comes to Dawn, they're saying um, they're calling into question her testimony and the admissibility of Dawn's testimony on Diddy and his former president of Bad Boy, Harv Pierre, making threats against Dawn. When it comes to Carrie Morgan, they are objecting to Carrie Morgan testifying that the recording contract for Cassie was a hostage contract, and that Diddy's notorious for driving unfair bargains with his artists. Now we'll talk about that in a minute. The defense is also objecting to Carrie Morgan testifying that after Cassie returned home from the Intercontinental Hotel, Cassie told her that Diddy um, threw a potted plant at her and that someone brought the hotel tape for $50,000. Well, we already heard that there was an offer of $100,000 for the tape, and we watched Diddy throw that potted plant. So I don't understand why they were objecting. Now, remember, these were submitted prior to her testifying, all right? So that's why they're objections. Okay, we object to Carrie Morgan testifying that, in her opinion, Diddy controlled Cassie's career, and they object to Carrie testifying that Cassie told her that she believed that Diddy might have a tracker on her, and they also wanted to object to Cassie telling Carrie that Diddy had her carry a firearm for him. When it comes to David James, they were objecting to David James testifying that Cassie told him that she does not leave Diddy because he controls everything. Now, if you don't remember who David James is, David James was the first assistant who testified. So, yeah. And like I said, when it came down to Cassie's mom, they are trying to, oh, I'm sorry, you guys. They were trying to get the $20,000 demand payment, blackmail payment taken out as well. She did ask for some pot. Okay, so now let's see what you guys are talking about. Now she wants to play victim. Now 10 years, you hold on somebody. Oh, John, please give it up. Ex-producers, writers, and Diddy's ex-security all could tell the music career was a smokescreen. Exactly. That's what it's looking like. Only God can judge. I can't unsee that vase flying across the room. That part. She is/was a victim. I just don't understand how we are 10 days into this trial and we have had about 16, 17 testimonies. People come up on the witness stand already. It's about 16 to 17 people, guys. Yeah, Peppa, that's the defense trying to strike testimony. And if you notice, the testimonies that they're trying to strike out are testimonies that are damning to Diddy. Good morning, you all. Look cute and whatnot. Thank you. It doesn't matter. They could all be lies. What are you talking about, Lloyd? You can actually let me out at the corner. You don't have to drive all the way up. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right.
Okay, let me hop out very quickly because he is in the street. Yep, I got everything. All right, you guys, we are here. Hello. We are down here. We are in Manhattan. Hello.
Center.
Excuse me?
Center, you know, like
Center Street?
center.
It's right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we are down here. We are out here. We are on our way up to the courtroom. I mean, well, not the courtroom, the courthouse. Can you guys still hear me good? Phenomenal fresh start. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Whew. It is 8 a.m. You guys can still hear me good? Good. That's the sad reality. People just trolling for attention or money from socials. That's true. Now, the thing is, a lot of mainstream media are running with the narratives that they don't see the RICO. Well, technically, I'm not by myself. Once I get to the courthouse, Uda is up there. So I'm not alone. I'm just traveling by myself. Guilty. Diddy is guilty on some of it, but not life in prison. I can see that. I can see that. I mean, I've already said that I feel like he's going to be found guilty of something. He's not walking away scot-free. But then again, we don't know. Stranger things have happened. Now, the defense is already pushing for a mistrial. Like, they've already tried that tactic and got turned down. So I just feel like the prosecution needs to be aware of who they're putting on the stand. And be very mindful of, I'm sorry, y'all, I got distracted. Be very mindful, you know, that's all. I'm going to go say hi to Uda, and then I'm going to go have a seat.
I would rather get extorted than to get unalive. Any day. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that. Yes, sir.
Can I interview you on this?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you on YouTube?
Yes. And my name Dana J.
Hi,
What's up,
I'm
Dana J.
Hennessy Reviews, that girl Henny.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it. There we go. Okay. And what's your name?
That girl Henny from Hennessy Reviews.
I got 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Question number 1. What do you think about the trial so far?
I think it's very interesting. It's actually exposing a lot of the things that we've already been hearing rumors about. But I think it also took us by surprise because we didn't know how dark it was going to get. I think the prosecution is doing a good job at laying a foundation down. And the defense, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is poking holes and trying to plant those seeds of reasonable doubt in people's minds.
So, okay, question number 2. Do you think Sean is innocent or guilty?
I can't call that right now.
You can't call it. It's too hard to call.
It's too, I mean, honestly, I feel like we have the evidence of the video. We know that he's guilty of that. We hear the powerful testimony that was given by Cassie. We hear people corroborating what it is that that she endured while she was in that relationship. Honestly, I don't think he's innocent of a lot of this stuff.
So, third question for the people that say, "Well, Cassie could have left. It was that easy." I keep reminding them that Cassie was 19 and that he was 38.
Right.
What do you think about this?
What was that? 17-year age gap.
Yeah.
That played a big part in it, but I think people really need to pay attention to what Dr. Dawn Hughes testified to, because she spoke to the mental mind state of somebody who was in a cycle of being physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially abused by somebody. You know, it puts you in a trap. There was a power, it was an imbalance of power.
Right.
From the beginning. Already mentally, he was years ahead of her. Financially, he was ahead of her. Game-wise, he was definitely ahead of her. So I just feel like that played a huge part in everything.
Bonus question.
Okay.
Bonus question, because I know you got to go. If you had to say for right now, what would you say the temperament of the courtroom has been so far?
Well, I haven't been up to the main courtroom. I've been in the overflow, and the overflow, I could say it's been like a back and forth. Like, people are 1 minute, the prosecution, they're giving it to you, and then the defense will come, and then people will sway, but then the prosecution will come back. So I feel like people kind of have a mixed feeling of things, but for the most part, I can say a lot of people are feeling like he is guilty of what he's being charged with.
Okay, and where can people find you at?
I'm at Hennessy Reviews. That's HENNESSAY Reviews on YouTube, or just look up That Girl Henny.
Y'all go follow her, like, share, subscribe her, and thank you so much, sis.
Thank you.
And for joining us in Dana J's Street Views.
Thank you so much.
Right.
And say something to my people as well. How do you feel about this trial?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm up in the air. I'm trying to be non-biased, but honestly, I got to keep it real with you. I have history with this guy. So I can't say too much. I'm just being non-biased, but I want to see a fair trial. I want to see a fair trial. I've watched R. Kelly get lynched in New York, so I want to see a fair trial. I want to see a trial where if he's guilty, let him be guilty. If he's innocent, then let him go. But I do hope that this is a rehabilitation period for him, and for him and the stuff that he did in the past, get right with God, and God can forgive and move on, because you do have 2 daughters.
Right. 3
daughters.
4. Love, baby love.
Oh, yep. See, and you got 4 daughters, and what don't come back to you, it'll come back to your offspring. And I would hate for them to be as cute as they are to be getting urinated in the mouth,
right? Reaping their father's karma.
And
yeah,
baby oil and all that. I would hate to see that. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Life have a way of turning things around, and I'm going to follow Miss Hennessy. So I need all of y'all to like, share, subscribe, and hit her super chat, man.
Now
hit
tell everybody where you are on.
I'm official Dana J. OFFICIALDANAJAY. All one word. Every first letter is a capital. Everything else lowercase.
Well, thank you so much, Dana J. It was a pleasure. I'll see you outside.
Yes,
some more. We'll be around.
But I'm out here getting the footage. But I
know that's
today.
right.
I'm getting the footage today.
You don't want to hear what Capricorn got to say?
Listen, I want to get the outside footage first.
I got you.
And then
get inside. Yeah. Right. I hear you.
And plus, I got to see about the transcripts and stuff too. So
yeah, I got to see about them too.
Yeah, so I got a lot to do on the first day. This is my first day up here.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the boots on the ground, Diddy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, yo. Hattie, was goody. You know, we outside in real time. In real time. Capricorn clock, what happened? You know, you met me that one day when we was just taking a little 1-2 drinks, and I ain't even bring up Law in London at that time. And listen to me, girl. It's the first time I'm seeing you in years. And I'm about to put eyes on you. I should have been able to grab you by the wrist like Ray Charles, because you know I miss you. You know I miss you, Capricorn clock. So they here for the testimony. I want to hear that, girl. Call me.
Now, Uda, how you gonna handle this when you got your ex Tisa up here and now Capricorn?
Oh, I'm done with her. Me and her done.
Oh,
me and Tisa done. Me and Tisa done.
Damn.
I gotta let her be.
Damn.
But tomorrow, me and Tisa back. But for today, Capricorn, I got to keep my thing situated. Yeah, you don't want to get caught up. You know what I mean? Like Bokeem Woodbine, you won't get caught up.
That part.
You don't want to get caught up. What's good, my sister?
It would want to be hot, right?
Right? It's bipolar.
It is.
You know this mother's bipolar.
That's why my behind was at the house over the weekend.
One day is this. Look at her today. Let her do her makeup first. You know, no bloopers with my baby. That's my, you know, I ain't until Capricorn comes. That's my baby.
Okay, until Capricorn comes. Gotcha.
Until Cap come back. Look how she's doing that pink. I should have had my pink on today. Not with the loose thing.
Well, we are out here. It is hot. I'm kind of scared to take my jacket off because I don't want to be laid up sick. I don't want to be laid up sick. But I'm about to put my stand up. And we about to stand right here because this is where they come in and out of the courtroom at. And y'all are going to want to see who's coming in and out. So, hold on, you guys.
I went to funeral again. What are you talking about? I'm in a funeral. You did that? In a funeral.
All right. Now we are here, and we are set up. Let me make sure I got my camera in a good space because I don't want them coming and knocking my stuff over at all. But we are here. Should have got some throat coat organic tea, so don't chew me up today. Listen, you in this throat coat, you know you can't say certain things in the chat because people are going to run with it, okay? We are definitely, look, let me turn this way. Y'all can see the courtroom doors. There go the gold doors right there, the infamous gold doors. I'm not trying to have too many people in my shot. So here we are out here, day 10. It's definitely going down. We are waiting for the arrival of people to come to court. It is only 8 o'clock. The court opens up at 8:30. The line was already outside to go into the main courtroom. I'm not trying to get into the main courtroom and get into all of that drama that's going on because at the end of the day, the day must come to an end, okay? It must come to an end. And it's a lot that's going on in that courtroom, if I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's a lot to pay attention to. And will I go there? Will I go up there or attempt to get up there before I end up heading back down to Florida? Yes, I will try my best to get up there because I do want to get a feel for what it's going on in that main room, what the jury is feeling, how the jury is feeling, what the facial expressions are, the body language, what the judge is looking like, the prosecution, the defense, everybody. It's a whole lot that goes on in that main courtroom that you have to pay attention to because all of that matters. When someone says something, how the jury reacts, you want to look at all 12 people and see, was there a reaction to it? Was it not a reaction to it? And somebody is coming right now, you guys.
You know what she put about Miss Knockout?
The news cameras
this whole interview
are up.
The girl with the
oh, these are the lawyers?
That nobody.
Can I leave my book bag there? I don't know. All right. The lawyers are going into the courtroom. Oh, I walked in your shot. I'm sorry.
No. Are they coming this way? Yeah.
Are these the lawyers?
Yep.
Okay. Let's turn this around. Oh, we have Aglafinio.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, guys. You all have a nice day.
Sorry,
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. We're all trying to get a shot. You're good.
it's all good.
Did you get your shot?
Yes.
All right. That's all that matters.
In the hood, that's what they call playing in your face. Where I come from, they call that playing in your face. You know who the girl is with the red wig? With those same letters, you could have put Miss Knockout. You could have at least put my name. No, she put the lady with the red wig. And the article's supposed to be about the small independent streamer. And she put all these big streamers in there that work for big companies, iHeart, TMZ. And she gave that play, but she put Miss Knockout with the red wig, who nobody knows who it is. That could have been anybody. That could have been your mama, your cousin, your auntie, anybody.
Is Jaguar right there? No. Jaguar is not here today. I don't see her. When she was down here, she was down here with her camera crew. But that's it. Do you got your Tupac shirt on? I absolutely do have Tupac on. I told y'all I was gonna wear my Tupac t-shirt. Okay, y'all thought I was playing. Y'all thought I was playing.
But let's continue giving this update. Hang out here a little. We're going to go in about 9 o'clock.
All right, so I have something else for y'all. There is an article that I'm going to read to y'all pertaining to Miss Capricorn Clark. Now, I'm going to read this article to y'all so that y'all can be in the know, along with how I was letting you guys know that the defense is trying to strike and object to testimonies that have been given in the court. They were trying to object to before and prior to testimony being given by Dawn Richard, by Carrie Morgan, and by Miss Ventura, the mom. Oh, it's not on this phone. Hold on, let me see something. If y'all give me 1 minute, let me send it to myself. Give me 1 second, you guys. Don't go nowhere. So let me see if I can just pull it up independently on here. And this is going to be coming from, Business Insider. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna read this article to you guys. Can you guys hear me good? Because there's a truck going by in New York, typical New York stuff. So according to Business Insider, it says during the first 2 weeks of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial in Manhattan, her name was dropped 24 times. That means that her name was dropped 24 times. Y'all drop some Henny glasses in the chat. Double tap the screen. Make sure you get them likes up. And it says now Capricorn Clark is set to take the stand first thing Tuesday, which is today, kicking off the third week of the government's sex trafficking and racketeering case against the millionaire hip hop entrepreneur. Now let's pause right there because Diddy's net worth has dropped, allegedly. He was sitting at approximately 800 million. He is now sitting down to 400 million and change, which means that he has lost significantly. You got to think about the things that he lost. He has lost the income that he had coming in from Diageo. He's no longer getting that Ciroc money. He's no longer getting that De Leon money. Okay, so that was a big percentage of his income that was coming in. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was something at an estimated $50 million, but I will go ahead and dig deep into that to give y'all the accurate numbers so that we are always making sure that we try to stay as close to the truth as possible here when it's backed up with proof and evidence. So I will dig into that for you guys later on this evening. It says also, as Combs' former personal assistant and top marketing exec, if you remember, I told you that Capricorn Clark was his personal assistant and she left. And then she came back and she became a top marketing exec for Sean John Women's clothing line when he relaunched it. Okay. And she would be the highest ranking employee to testify thus far. So that means that everybody else, all of the other personal assistants that have testified, she is the one who has the highest ranking of his employed staff that's coming up to testify. Okay. Tony Abrams, former CFO for Combs Enterprises, is on deck to testify soon as later this week. So we're going to be hearing from his former CFO as well. Prior trial testimony has cited Clark, which is Capricorn, as a witness of acts of violence, a $20,000 extortion and kidnapping, all elements in the September indictment in the indictment against Diddy that he's fighting in trial right now. They go on to say, once on the stand, she could bolster to the top 2 federal charges against the music mogul, which is the sex trafficking and racketeering, each carrying a minimum sentence of life in prison. Okay. The violence Clark possibly witnessed includes in the incident from a 2010 diner in West Hollywood. At the diner, Combs punched girlfriend turned key accuser Cassie Ventura in front of other guests. Witnesses Dawn Richard testified. Clark, Bad Boys record president Harv, and other top Combs employees at the diner appeared to do nothing, she told jurors last week. So it looks like she's going to be corroborating it. Mr. Combs punched Cassie in the stomach, Dawn said. And then Dawn goes on to describe Cassie doubling over, then being ordered by Diddy to leave the diner. No one intervened, she testified. So once again, there's more testimony that could possibly be coming from Capricorn Clark that is going to corroborate that when all of these acts of violence were happening, that nobody was doing anything. The thing about it is, though, I want to know what else besides being scared to lose their job had them not say anything. I can understand that Cassie didn't say, Dawn didn't say anything because Dawn had a whole career that she was trying to hold on to. I don't even know if you guys can still hear me. Good morning. I don't know if y'all can still hear me because it's getting kind of loud over there. We know she had a career. We know that the assistants did not want to lose their jobs as well. But what were some of the other reasons? That we know Dawn testified to being scared. But outside of not losing your job, what else made you not say anything when you're watching these horrific acts go down? And while people keep saying that there's still no RICO there, acts of violence are considered to be coercion in this, okay? And in some states, that is what domestic violence is being looked at, is coercion. But I would like to hear more of why didn't anybody say anything? So it says, if successfully corroborated by Clark and others, that stomach punch and any lack of intervention by Combs' staff could support both top counts, which means that they stayed quiet in the best interest of the enterprise. Now, remember, when we go back to Kaplan was talking about how he didn't say anything because he didn't want to intervene in Diddy's personal life, and how he hadn't seen or witnessed anything like that before. Dawn said she hadn't witnessed anything like that before. So that kind of messes with people's psyche. When you think about it, it messes with their psyche. Now, who is this? Oh, another lawyer, you guys.
Big week this week.
You trying to take my head off, bro?
My bad, bro.
I'm already little.
I'm like this. I try to go over your shit like this.
But how much littler you want me to be?
Try to go over your goofy like this.
That's one of the defense, right?
Yeah. That's Donaldson.
Huh?
That's the lawyer, Donaldson.
Okay. Jonathan?
Donaldson.
Donaldson. That's the lawyer. Okay. Hold on.
All right, so let's go back to what we were reading. Okay, it says, so far more than a dozen instances of violence, nearly all of them against Ventura, throughout their on and off 2007 to 2018 relationship have been described by eyewitnesses, including Ventura herself. Prosecutors allege that Combs trafficked Ventura via force and threats throughout those years, beating and threatening her into complying with a decade's worth of freak-offs. Elaborately staged, often videotaped, Sleg's performances involving himself, male escorts, and interstate travel. Prosecutors say the threats that kept Ventura compliant include one from December 2011, when Combs found out that she was dating rival rapper Kid Cudi. Capricorn is CC'd on a BlackBerry message, which Ventura, using the alias Veronica Bang, tells mom Regina Ventura about Combs' threat to release explicit Sledge tapes. So this is what we have going on here. I'm actually not going to run this time because let me tell y'all something. Running to try to get the footage, I may miss some of it, but it's a madhouse. It's a madhouse. It's a media madhouse. Oh, he's standing still. Let's go and see what they're talking about, guys. Brian Steele arriving.
All right, great. Straight from the A. Just how we do it. Good. Good.
Hey, Brian.
Have a good morning.
I'm not getting good footage right now because
Great work. Great work. Excellent work.
okay, so we have Brian Steele and Miss Westmoreland heading into the court this morning. Diddy's team is in the building.
Thanks, Brian. You're a good man.
All right, you guys. I don't know what it looked like. I don't know what it looked like. Did y'all get a good shot? I don't know.
Yeah. That's Diddy's lawyer, Brian Steele. And what I got to do my disclaimer now, because every time I show Brian Steele, oh, you on Diddy's side. No, Miss Knockout is not on anybody's side. She's on the side of the truth. Okay?
I actually was going to give him a try.
No problem. No problem. Did you guys get a good shot of Brian? Brian is the king of asking for mistrial. He's already tried. He's already tried.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So we have the defense already arriving. Let's see if we can get the prosecution coming in as well. It seems that they come from down the street.
Which way do the prosecution come from?
I'm not sure. I'm just moving when I see the crowd moving.
Nothing that I recognize. No. Okay, guys, there's 20 cases going on. I know, that's what it is.
Okay, there's another law team that is coming in, but they don't seem to be a part of this case.
Huh?
Oh no, I'm still live.
I think all of us.
Hold on, guys.
Not the main courtroom. I'm going into tomorrow.
You know what, you guys? Guess what? I'm going to go where I was at, because from where I'm at, I can get a good view of them. I don't have to go chase them down. People want to get them walking up on the street. That's cool. I could get them walking into the courthouse.
So we're going to go over now.
Plus, I don't necessarily want to keep leaving my belongings. This is New York. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this ain't New York. This is still New York, baby, where anything is possible. So I just know when I see them start to gather that I need to go ahead and get my position together so that I can grab the content for y'all. I wonder if Diddy's daughter will show up today. We're going to see. We're going to see if Diddy's daughters show up today, if his mom shows up. You know, the daughters were not here because they had prom and graduation going on. Misa made it very clear that she was here to support Justin, her son. She was here to support him, not necessarily here to support Diddy. I do see the media starting to gather, and it looks like they are running down. We're going to see who is coming. Let me get myself situated and positioned for the shot. Let me go ahead. Let me just show y'all. This is what it's looking like, guys. Is that Capricorn Clark? Was that Capricorn? I don't know either. Okay, so that's one time that I probably should have run. I doubt that it was Capricorn Clark though, because this person went in through a regular door. Damn, it was. Capricorn is Diddy's. Damn it, I was out here for her. Capricorn is Diddy's exec. She was once his former assistant, and she's the one who was kidnapped to go take him to Kid Cudi's house when he broke in. Yeah. I missed it. I'm sorry, you guys. No, I haven't heard anything about I'll Be Sure coming. Damn. Okay, but we do have somebody pulling up here. Who is this? Not sure who this is. I don't know if that's Teeny Garagos or not. So we are outside, but I think we're getting ready to go inside. So we can go ahead and what time is it? It's 8:27. Court hasn't exactly started just yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be plugging my phone up to the charger so that way I can catch the coming out, everybody coming out. I do want to catch Capricorn coming out. She's probably going to go out the back, if I'm not mistaken. She may go out the back. I'm pissed that I didn't catch her. The jury in before everyone else. I believe the jury is already upstairs. They're just not inside the courtroom. We couldn't see her anyway with all that hair. No, but I'm quite sure we could have gotten a good shot of her. I love y'all. Y'all are so supportive. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Y'all saw a side of her. Y'all didn't get the whole thing, though. And that's the one time that I decided I'm not going to run down there. And I should have. Thank you. So this is going to be interesting today, guys. This is going to be an interesting day to see how this testimony is going to go and what it is that she's going to say. And I definitely do not want to miss a minute of it. So I'm going to be heading up shortly because I want to get the testimony. I want to hear what she's got to say. I want to hear from beginning to practically the end what it is that's being testified to, because I feel like she's going to offer more information that we haven't heard before. She's going to open up the door to a whole nother level of the prosecution is here. The prosecution is here, you guys. Oh no, that's not the prosecution. My bad.
Yeah, I know. They're not related, right? Who are those attorneys?
We truly appreciate your work. Thank you, Ivan. But now, as I was saying, it's definitely going to be a day filled with more revelations. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely.
I'm having fun out here. This gentleman here is telling me about his camera like that. It's fine. One of the few that are actually friendly around here. No, I mean, a lot of them don't like us out here because they feel like we're
We are. I want to try to wait for the kids to come, but the kids may not come. And I don't want to miss the testimony. Because I want to give you guys the story of what's going on.
That's a lot of work.
Let's see.
That thing weighs, and that thing is not light at all. That thing weighs, I don't know, like 30, 40 pounds.
This is what I'm talking about when I say to you guys that news people and podcasters are down here as one. Like, there's no division. There's no division. Everybody is working together to get the shot. Everybody is letting people know who is who. This is so and so. This is so and so. Like it's nobody is. It's no big I, little you down here. The vibe is definitely vibing. So let's see who we got. We got Westmoreland. We got Brian Steele. We got Donaldson for the defense. We've gotten the defense coming in. I thought we were getting the prosecution. You know, the media started swarming, but it turns out that it wasn't the prosecution that came in. I'm wondering if they already came in. Capricorn Clark is inside. Don't worry, Diddy gonna be locked up for the next 50 years. You can see his kids later. Wow. Wow, Alpha Omega. Wow. If only the world can do the same. Exactly, Paulie. Like, it doesn't have to be dog eat dog. It really doesn't. And this is proof of it, you know? Maybe before I leave, I want to try to do something with the cameramen that are out here and see how they, you know, get their take on being out here and getting those shots that go viral, that go up, you know, having to run and chase and how they do what they do. They're the unsung heroes. Like, let me tell you, these gentlemen over here, all of these people across the street, they're the unsung heroes that are behind the scenes of all of those news stories that we watch on the news every night. I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. Can you believe that we are in week 10? Like, can you believe this is week 10? And they're saying that this is supposed to go on for a total of 8 weeks. So we are, I'm sorry, I said week 10. Day 10, week 3 is what we're into right now. Day 10, week 3. So we've got like 4 more weeks of this to go. Do you know who's on the stand today? So today is going to be Capricorn Clark, and then it's going to be Jimenez. I can't remember his first name. I said it earlier, but the Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator who responded to the call when Kid Cudi's car got Molotov cocktailed. That's who's taking the stand today. I don't know anybody else outside of that, but those two for sure are taking the stand. I'm also, according to documents, it's looking like Jordan, the chef, she's going to be taking the stand at some point, either this week or next week. That I did read in some of the documents that I was looking at this morning and last night. So we're going to hear from the chef. Now, if you remember, Jordan is the chef that had an incident with him and got up out of there. Gina, there absolutely is RICO activities that have happened. You know, for those who keep saying that there's no RICO, please stop listening to other people and go do your own due diligence. When you go do your own due diligence, you find out that there are 35 predicate offenses to a RICO. So, I mean, it's a lot that's going on. It's a lot that's going on. It's a lot that's being said. It's a lot that's being given. It's a lot of information. It is. It's really a lot of information. But if you don't know what to look for, then you're easily going to be duped by the domestic violence portion of things. You really are. So RICO is not just one charge. RICO has 35 predicate offenses to it. Thank you. Thank you, the critic. Y'all get them likes up. Double tap the screen for me. Is that the chef that saw Gina naked? I believe so, but don't hold me to that. Well, you guys, it's 8:35. I'm going to start getting ready to possibly head back in. I'm going to head inside because I do want to grab Capricorn Clark. Capricorn Clark was Diddy's assistant who moved on to be an executive over his global clothing, Sean John, the women's division. So she's somebody who has been around him for a while or was around him for a while. No, I'm not sweating per se. I got a line for my sunglasses, but I'm not sweating per se. Like, you know, no sweat, just glistening. The sunshine is glistening all over my body. That's not baby oil. No baby oil, no Diddy. What did the feds offer Diddy in the plea deal that he refused to take? Diddy might not see sunlight. Rest in jail. Ooh, ouch. They, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they offered him something like 15 years. I can go back and pull that information for you guys, but he denied that. So now it's just like, Diddy, this is the time you should have took that. Like, what? Maybe you should have took that. Good morning.
Wow, that's it. Fiasco.
Diddy trial. Now, I was watching Gene Deal's Art of Dialogue, and he was saying that Diddy is such an egomaniac that he thought that there was going to be thousands of people that swarmed the courthouse. It's actually really quiet out here considering that it's Diddy. 15 years at 55 is life. Well, I mean, at least there was the possibility of coming out. You only do 85% of your time in the feds. So he actually would have came home. He actually would have came home before 15 years, but you know, then there's that. There's the whole balancing the scales of things. And who knows, he probably would have had to admit some form of guilt, which he wasn't trying to do, obviously. So he's taking it to trial and he's taking it to the max. You know, the downside to taking cases to trial historically have been that you get life. And with this, I mean, this could go either way, you guys. It could really go either way. He thinks he's too cocky and unstoppable. That's the why. That's why he didn't take the 15 years. Diddy and Biggie were ops before, by the way. What, Judy? Diddy is right where he should be locked up. Phenomenal fresh start, Bree Bree. Diddy ain't getting out of this. You guys have to go check out my Diageo video that I did a while ago. If you check that out, then you'll get some information on what happened with that. I did that about 8 months ago. I just posted it to my story or posted it to my post here on YouTube. So it's up there. And I read the court docs and we were able to get some of that stuff that was redacted, unredacted. And you guys can hear, like, I do have a conspiracy theory that goes along with all of this, but that still doesn't negate away from the testimony that we're hearing and the evidence that we're seeing in court. There's no way that you can get away from that video that went not only internet viral, but globally viral on the news. There's no way that you can get away from the pictures of the bruises and things of that nature. We haven't seen the freak off video or stills that were submitted into evidence and that the jury saw. We didn't see any of those things. So there's a lot of stuff that we're not seeing, that we're not privy to as the public, but maybe the press is privy to. But even the press would probably censor some of this stuff down. But there is evidence that backs up a lot of what's being said. There's people corroborating the stories that are being told. So you can't negate away from those things. My question is, how is the jury going to take this? If we, the public, are so divided on what is RICO and is there RICO here and is this trafficking, is this transportation to engage in prostitution? If there is such a division within public opinion, you have to remember that the jury is one of us. They're not people that went to law school and got training and, there's a course that you take on how to be a juror. These people get a notice in the mail to show up for jury duty. They come down here. They're everyday people like you or I. This could have very easily been one of us who received this summons for jury duty in our mailbox and showed up down here, and boom, we're sitting on the jury panel. So that's why when people say, oh, he's not getting out of this one, I don't see him coming out of this one. Well, if we go into the court of public opinion, because that holds weight. A while ago, I would say public opinion, jury verdict, two different things. But nowadays, everything is so closely woven together because of social media. So when you have different narratives that are going out, different opinions that are being given, you can't say, hold on, you guys. You got it?
Give me.
No, you're good. You are good. Listen. Excuse me.
That was fast.
So back to what we were saying. When you get into all of that, and then you have to remember that the jury is not sanctioned. So while they're making agreements to go home and they're saying, we're not going to watch the news, we're not going to watch social media, we're not going to pick up our phones and look at anything that has anything to do with this case, while that's what they're agreeing to, they aren't sanctioned. So there's no telling if they're going home and plugging into YouTube and they're going home and they're watching Nancy Grace and TMZ and all of these other platforms that are out here that are speaking on this trial. It's not like they are actually stopped from doing it. All it is their word. So if we're already conflicted with he's innocent, he's guilty, it's not a RICO, it is a RICO. If we're conflicted, then think of how they are. Okay, whatever, I don't know. Said go read my last two comments. Where's the rest of the group? What group? What group are you speaking about? What group are you speaking about? Go up more. Right. They've sworn under oath that they're not going to watch or tap into anything that is related to this case, but there's no guarantee that they're not. Okay. Usually in high profile cases, the jury is taken and put up somewhere, and that's how they are sanctioned from watching anything because their environment is being controlled. You cannot guarantee that they're not talking to each other either, because I overheard people having conversations about what was going on in the main courtroom. And these are news outlets that were saying this, that they saw one of the jurors kind of looked at the other one and say, you're lying. So it's not, they're lying. So we don't know how this is going to go, you guys. We really don't. We're looking at all of it and we're seeing all of the evidence, but what it all boils down to is what the jury is going to decide when they get into that room and start deliberating. Are they going to look at this from the 35 predicate offenses of a RICO and see where the bribery, the kidnapping, the arson, are they going to connect those dots? Are they going to say that this is a pattern? Or are they going to say, look, this is domestic violence and we don't see it? Are they going to say it was consensual? Have they really argued what consent is? Because remember, I just got here last week and I was keeping up with what was going on through Inner City Press. Shout out to them. But I didn't hear anybody argue the points about consent. And what a lot of people don't realize is some of the things that we do every day, it would lead up to non-consensual intimate relations with one another. Did you know that if someone is drunk, they're considered impaired, which means that they cannot consent? Someone being in an induced state due to taking recreational or street pharmaceuticals, you know, we got to watch what we say over here, that is considered non-consensual. Did you know that going and having slugs with your partner while they're sleeping, you know, when you be laid over in the spoon and you sleep and he slide up in there, that's considered non-consensual. If you are not in a sober state of mind, a clear state of mind, according to the law, that is non-consensual intimate activity. So are they really speaking to that? This is why I said, you know, you guys got to educate yourself and look and then make your own hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess. Take a look at what things are and then make your own educated guess, but then leave room open to not be so stuck in one mindset, because at the same time, we are in day 10, week 3. We still got a ways to go. The defense still hasn't called their witnesses. The prosecution has not rested on their witnesses, so we still don't know who's coming. But that's the thing, Queen Grandma Rocks. You don't even have to say no. You don't even have to say no. But no is one of the ways that it's non-consensual. But again, all the ways that I just said, any time that you are altered in a altered mental state, legally you cannot consent because you're not in a clear, sober frame of mind. So that's what it all boils down to. But I'm getting ready to head up, you guys. It's almost 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all double tap. And if you are new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm here live at the Diddy trial. I'm going to go inside and get some information for you guys and come back out. And of course, I'm going to give it to you straight with no chaser, as Henny always does. If you're new, welcome to the bar. Everybody that has been to the bar, thank you for your continued patronage. I love y'all. Y'all have a high vibes to your day. Remember to vibe high so the bullshit don't stick. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, everybody.